That's exactly what I envisioned them doing, making that a hallmark moment for the franchise.
There's Emmitt.
There he is.
Hey, Emmitt, how you
Oh,
doing?
man.
Chris Myers here. I appreciate you having me on the platform.
No, Chris, thank you for joining, man. I had a technical difficulties myself. I can't watch the Cowboys game because I'm up in Redskins. Oh, I'm sorry, Commanders territory up in Virginia, and so I'm just trying to follow it online and see what I see is 7-7 right now, which is unfortunate.
I'm the same way, Emmitt. I live up in Philadelphia now, so I can't even get it on TV either. But actually, as we speak, the Texans must have scored a field goal, so it's 10-7.
Oh,
You see, it's games like this that concerns me the most for the Dallas Cowboys. Everybody's excited about how great they look, et cetera, et cetera. The mark of a great team is when you're able to finish a wounded dog like the Texans right now, a team that doesn't have a whole lot going for them, and yet here we are. We find ourselves in one of those kind of games
Yeah.
where, and if I was watching, I'd be able to give you a little bit more commentating, but just sitting here looking at the score 7-7, that means they're running the ball effectively, in my opinion, the Texans are, and they're starting to establish some level of a passing game against our defense, which makes it very tough, especially when you're a wounded dog. And so you allow a dog to get some resuscitation, you're gonna find yourself in the dog fight before it's over.
That's the truth. It's the truth right there. The trivia thing that you were doing earlier had that stat on there about us never being able to beat Dallas in Dallas, and that's kind of kind of goes back to the conversation that we were having. Is just that the lack there of consistency and success, especially being, and you can't even. I mean, you can't call a rivalry until there's a give and take of some victories there. And I know we've had some success in Houston, but until we can be able to go up there and kind of put it back to Big Brother a little bit, it's just not going to be that way. And Houston fans don't like to hear that, but it's just the God honest truth. I think it was 2012, maybe we were up there. I forget what it was, or 13, and we just could not pull it out. We had it all the way through the fourth quarter, couldn't pull it out, and that was a real big gut shot for us as players. As much as people want to say it, they don't understand it unless they live in Texas. Some rivalry between the Dallas and the Houston, and unless you live in those cities, you will never get it. Just the jawing back and forth and the amount of commuters back and forth between those two cities. So to be a player down there was a really, really cool, unique experience coming in. I had no preconceived notions of Texas. So, like I said, until Houston can figure themselves out, it's going to be Dallas runs the state.
Well, yeah, Dallas has ran the state, and Houston is a great city. Don't get me wrong. And when the Oilers and now Titans left, it left a void in the marketplace. The Cowboys have always been that marquee organization, and have done a lot of great things with that representation. But you're absolutely right. It would not become a rivalry until Houston is at a level of competitive spirit and beating Cowboys in Texas in Cowboy Stadium. And because I've never beat the Texans. When I played, I never beat the Texans. We went down, they opened up their opening night, I believe. We played them on Monday Night Football, and they beat the living crap out of us. And I was so pissed. I really was. I mean, I was really livid because I was just hot. I was just hot.
They still talk about that to this day. I mean, obviously it's still one of the younger franchises, but that victory kind of was one of those, you talked about it, how, the Oilers left and went to Tennessee and became the Titans, and there was a void there. And then when Bob McNair kind of created the Texans and decided to bring it back, that was marked on the calendar for a good amount of time. And that one is up in the stadium. There's framed pictures of it. I think
it is. That's why I hated losing, because that's exactly what that's exactly what I envisioned them doing, making that a hallmark moment for the franchise.
I was going to say, so I'm going to ask you guys this, bounce this back off you guys, and see what you guys think. So you get a team like Houston that's bottom tier, in the bottom of the barrel, whatever. How do you guys try to change that? Because I mean, you guys have been at, obviously, been at winning programs. Was there something missing that you're seeing from, the audience standpoint that, maybe it's something with chemistry, maybe it's something in the headlines. I mean, obviously we had the Deshaun Watson thing, sucked the life out of that team for the last couple of years. But are you guys seeing something that is kind of standing out to you that, they should get rid of or kick out or something, anything like that?
Getting in the weeds. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Emmitt.
Me personally, when I sit back and I reflect on it, as we just talked about, the Texans are a very young organization. And oftentimes when you're so young and yes, you got great businessmen that run tremendous and traditional businesses. But when it comes down to athletics and sports, organization itself, I'm not sure if the Texans have established a true identity of who they really want to be as an organization. I mean, yes, they're the great franchise of the Texans in Houston. That's part of the greatest sports organization when it comes down to the National Football League. They're part of that. But within that, who have they established themselves to be? I think oftentimes we as owners and humans will come in and put what we call our touch on our own team. Well, the reality is your touch might not be the one touch that you need to do. You might want to go look at an organization like the San Francisco 49ers. You might want to go talk to someone like the Dallas Cowboys. You might want to go talk to someone like the Oakland Raiders, someone like the Green Bay Packers, someone like the New England Patriots, organizations that have had, and Pittsburgh Steelers, that has had winning traditions and winning ways. Find out what some of the integral aspects of what makes that organization or those organizations as successful as they are. Now, the last 20 years, the Cowboys ain't done jack. But the point that I'm making is you have to establish a mindset that marries up not only with the organization and the vision of the organization, but also with the operations of the organization and even the players that you bring in. And so I think oftentimes there's a big disconnect between the football team and the operations of the organization. And that could be one of those things that's lingering on with the Texans right now, is not having that full commitment from top to bottom. They say they do, they talk like they do, but they don't function like they do.
Yeah, I completely agree in regards to your assessment. Now, I can't speak on everything the past 8 years since I retired, but I think that in general, you talk about teams, who are we? What's our makeup? What's our character? Who are we going to be? What kind of team are we going to be? To your point, it's not just on the field. It's not the X's and O's. It's the accounting department. It's the ticket department. It's everyone involved from the top down, from the ownership to the GM, and how that gets portrayed under that umbrella to everyone and how they operate on a daily basis. And are the actual people in management and ticketing walking around on eggshells because they're scared of management? And is that going to prevent them from doing their job at 100% click, right? That's the same exact way the players may be operating, because they're, maybe you shouldn't be playing in the NFL if you're kind of thinking about that while you're on the field. But if the operations are running that way, it's going to create a disconnect. And, when there's, a ripple in the water like that, it's only going to kind of keep going. So I don't know how it's operating right now, but it doesn't seem to be very consistent with one victory on the schedule right now. It's unfortunate. Like I said, Texas fans in general, no matter what city you're in, are great, phenomenal football fans across the state, some of the best in the country.
Right.
So you want to give them a product to be able to represent that and give them something to cheer about. They're going to be there. They're waiting for it. So give them something. So, I just cross my fingers season in and season out that something's going to turn over here. And I'm not saying have to turn over in the management side or ownership, whatever it is, just finding that whatever that it is, and then commit to it and let everyone else trickle off of that.
Yeah. And for me, when you talk about winning organizations, they have won either Super Bowls of one or have won enough playoff games to where you can say, okay, this is who this team and this is who this organization has been for the last umpteen years. There's no doubt about the Steelers. When you think about the Pittsburgh Steelers, you think about hard-nosed, hardcore, blue-collar, downright, get nasty if I had to kind of football team. And we're going to be tough. We're going to run the ball tough. We're going to be physically tough. We're going to be mentally tough. And we're going to get after that ass. That's the Pittsburgh Steelers organization. And it's a reflection upon that in terms of how they play football, too.
Correct.
That's how come Bill Cowher was successful. That's why Chuck Noll was successful. And that's why Mike Tomlin has been successful as well. Now, this year's a struggle because of various reasons.
We got some fans coming up, Emmitt and Chris. So obviously, we're going to get to them right now. Mario's the first one. Mario, take it away.
What's up, guys?
What's up, Mario?
How you doing, Mario?
Emmitt?
Hi.
How you doing, Chris?
Happy holidays to you guys.
You too, man. You
You
too.
as well.
Chris,
Happy
sorry to hear
holidays.
you're in Philly. I'm over here in South Jersey. It's
Oh, there you go.
not a great place when you're a Cowboys fan.
Yeah,
Emmett knows
cold,
that.
cold, rainy. Yeah, exactly.
Emmitt, I had to correct you the first time we talked this year. You told whoever we were talking to that I might have had 5 or 10 footballs. My count now is 19.
Oh, my God.
That's what I say.
I said I wanted to get 10% out of the 164. So I'm above that now. So yeah, I got
God, man.
That's a solid collection there.
That is a
Thanks.
solid collection.
thanks.
And those are all touchdown footballs, Chris, from my 164 touchdown career.
That's more impressive. That's hats off
You
to
can
you,
say it in the
Mario.
background.
That's a commitment right there. Oh,
And
wow.
they're in between Coach Landry's hat. Yep. So
Wow.
Man.
but I'm just glad everything's good, Emmitt, and we haven't been on for a while, so I said let me give a call and just see what's going on when the Texans game is on, and good to have Chris on there. And as usual, you look terrific, Emmitt, as always.
Thank you, man. I'm trying. I caught a red eye into Norfolk, Virginia last night. Came in from Las Vegas, so I had to connect into Charlotte.
Saw you in Vegas. Awesome.
Yeah, so I've been airway hopping, man, since last Wednesday.
Wow.
Oh,
Wow.
boy. Jeff said.
Schedule. It's tough being so popular.
Hey,
Mario, can I ask you a question?
Shoot.
Is the goal to get as many balls as possible? You may have already asked this, Emmett. I mean, are you just going to keep going?
Yeah. If they're for sale up there, now it used to just be all Cowboys stuff, and it is still if I see something here. But now I just have to because the balls are cost me a little bit of money. I only focused on Emmitt. That's it. So it's just
You got your
Emmitt.
niche. You got your niche. I love it.
Exactly.
Oh, he's got a
Chris.
niche, all right.
hey, Chris,
Emmitt news. Well, listen, it was great talking to you guys. Emmitt, always good to see you. Chris, seemed like a gentleman. I appreciate it. And I'm going to let some other people get on.
allowing people to get their hands on actual touchdown balls that I scored throughout my 15 years of playing in the National Football League.
I think it's great because you can just, I mean, on top of the memories that was for you or your family, you may keep a few, whatever it is, but to see the joy on Mario's face when he's showing that off, and you got to think the get-togethers and the parties and the gatherings that he has, and they're all just looking through that. There's not a price on that for him,
Right.
So to be able to have that for him is just, that's perfect. That's priceless. I love it. That's a great experience for him.
That's the cool part for me. Because people ask me all the time, why are you getting rid of your stuff? I'm like, it's in better hands if it's in the hands of someone that wants it, someone that likes it, someone that loves it, someone who's willing to go out there and pay for it, because they're gonna appreciate it. They're gonna have it up on their walls. They're gonna show it. It's gonna be a conversational piece around it, and they're proud of it. They're more proud of it than I am.
Yep.
And I tell people, I say, hey, I lived it. I don't need to have it shown in my face every time.
Right.
I lived it.
Right. Where you going to put 164 balls, right? So, like, you could have a few of them up, but.
And that's a perfect segue, though. I'm going to give it, a quick plug right there at eBay, just because we're talking about it right now. Touchdown ball 158 is live right now. It's going to be ending soon. So, Chris, if you want one, who knows, man? Hey, it's all up for grabs right now. It's all up for grabs. It's only one ball. It's not all of them. Yeah, exactly. So everyone, make sure you go to the Notable Live Shop page on eBay. Check it out. Touchdown Ball 158. We also have a game issued Arizona Cardinals jersey. We also have game used shoes, game used pants. I'm trying to run through the gauntlet right now. Just make sure you go check it out. Who knows? Maybe you'll be competing with Chris with the Touchdown Ball 158. So Mario, watch out, because Chris, who knows? Maybe he just wants it. I don't know, man. So we're gonna keep running through the. What was that?
Chris,
What's up?
What are you doing now?
So I've been coaching at a local high school out here for the past. I moved out here 6 years ago. So the past 5.5, 6 years, I've been coaching at a local high school, all boys school here called LaSalle College High School, and enjoying every second of it. It happened kind of grassroots style of how I got into it through a buddy of mine whose kid was going there, and he kind of kept prodding to come on over, check out little Brad, and I kind of kept putting it off, and finally I came over and checked out the offensive line at some little kind of competition they were having, and literally haven't left since. It started out as kind of just volunteering, and then kind of dipped my toes in, and maybe you can attest to it. I can't just go halfway in on something. I kind of got to go full tilt and give it my all. And when you're coaching, the kids deserve every bit of your energy too as well. So I think at this point, balancing the family life and the amount you commit to coaching sometimes is the juggling act that you do. But seeing the kids go to college, come on back, and going as Coach Myers now or Coach Chris as opposed to just Chris as all the time is a really, really great give back.
Right.
I enjoyed it as much as the kids enjoy having me as a coach. So
are you head coaching, OCing?
No, offensive line. I kind of stepped back from a potential OC job a little bit. I got 4 kids that are in the midst of their budding sports careers. My oldest is 7th grade, so she's starting to really hone in now, and there's a lot of travel and that commits with it, a lot regionally here, but some nationally as well. So I wanted to be able to allow myself that flexibility to kind of watch my kids grow and enjoy their sports too. So, but I love coaching.
Fans, guys. Oh, obviously, Emmitt, like I said, Chris, we're going to bring that up at some point, and just talk about that and, coaching. And a lot of these guys do coach, but we're going to keep rolling with the fans, guys. We got Cheryl. Cheryl, take it away.
It's really good to be able to talk to you, Emmitt. You're a lifelong fan. I was just wanting to know what the similarities you see between the current team and your team back when you won the Super Bowls.
I talked about it earlier. This current team went clicking on all cylinders. Right. And what I mean by clicking on all cylinders, that means the offensive coordinator is in tune with what this team can actually do offensively. And he's calling plays to not only set things up, but also to take advantage of the talent that he actually has on the football field. I've always believed that it is a coach's job to put players in a position to where they can make plays. It is a player's job to be in the position so when his number is called, he makes the plays. So what do I mean by that? If you got to do a whole lot of trickery, you haven't established anything that you can actually do.
Right.
And oftentimes I think I always see get a little bit outside, coaches nowadays want to call 120 plays in a game, which is cool if you can call 120 or 100 plays, effective plays, right, and produce 45 points. But to be calling plays just to be setting a record, trying to keep up with somebody else, that's not benefiting the team, that's a problem. So what I see sometimes is back in my day, there was no doubt in my mind. No doubt. I knew I was going in the game and I was going to have a minimum of 18 carries. If not more, I was going to have about 30 touches. Combination between runs and passes. I was ready for that every game. Now, some games against Philadelphia, when it's hard to run the ball against, you may not get the full 25. You may get 25 touches, but it may be in the combination of a few runs and a lot more passes here and there. Or it might just be, you're just going to have to gut it out today with 18 carries.
Right.
Because it was just that tough to run the ball. against Philadelphia. And to me, that's the difference between the current Cowboys and our team. Aikman knew he was going to throw the ball. Irvin knew he was going to get a number of attempts his way. So we knew what we was going to do. Everybody was committed to that. I'm not sure if this team truly understands what the commitment is to the balanced attack and how to set up this run game with Zeke and Pollard, and then run a bootleg out of it or run double moves off of people off of certain plays. Those are the things that I'm looking for out of this offense, because this offense has the capability to be very explosive.
Yeah, I was going to say that'd be a good segue, guys. So, Chris, obviously we do this new segment every single week. It's called One Burning Question. We kind of get the conversation moving. It's kind of fun, just opinionated based. So this week's One Burning Question, you went to the U. It's all about the U, baby. I get it. Who is the greatest Hurricanes player in the history of the program?
Oh, boy.
I know. I'm sorry.
Oh,
I had to
boy.
put you on the spot. Obviously, Emmitt, you play with a couple of them, and Michael's obviously probably your favorite to play with. But who do you guys think was the best University of Miami player?
Man, Emmitt, you could attest to it for the Gators too. It's kind of hard to choose that. I'd have to probably delve back into my bag of teammates that I played with, just to be biased. There's so many guys from the 80s and 90s that I could dip into, Irvin and Ray Lewis and these guys, and guys from back in the day. But I say this all the time, and it's not about the most successful player. I mean, he was. It's about how he led and the respect that he garnered from other teammates. And it's no surprise. Ed Reed was one of the most phenomenal players that I saw play. There were guys that probably were more physically gifted. If you were to compare body statures between Ed Reed and the late Sean Taylor, it's not even a comparison. And the level of hits and the plays that Ed Reed made too. But how he garnered respect and the aura that was of Ed Reed, and still is to this day, even when he was with Baltimore, it was impressive when we came in as freshmen, and to see how he was leading the team and kind of the speeches that he gave, and the ability to pick guys up when the team wasn't performing the way it was just by saying so. And he led by example. There's the likenesses of Ray Lewis that did that as well. And I'm sure Michael Irvin and Emmitt, you could attest to it from any other teammates. But there was just so much talent at Miami when I was there. So to pick it based upon performance isn't what I'm looking for. It was purely based upon the leadership aspect. And I'd have to say Ed Reed.
E, who are you thinking?
Oh, man, hell, I don't know. I was in the locker room. I mean, Chris is speaking from he's speaking from the experience of being in a locker room and the people that actually motivated him, even when he probably wasn't even seeking motivation, but had a way of just galvanizing players and motivating players and pushing players and challenging players. Michael was that for me with the Cowboys. I mean, he was that guy.
I got a caveat with that too, because it's when I was with Houston for the 7 years down there, one of my other former teammates who doesn't probably get as much respect in the conversations all the time, and he was second on my list in this conversation when you asked me the question in the back of my head. But Andre Johnson. Now, Andre's career at Miami was really only a 2-year career, maybe 2.5, because he was sitting behind the likes of Reggie Wayne and Santana Moss when he was first getting in there. So he didn't get to play as much up front. But when his NFL career came a-calling, and I'm sure he'll be getting that golden jacket soon.
So, Chris, I just want to say, this is your first time on it. What did you think about the platform?
I think it's phenomenal what you guys are able to do here. I know it's a platform that can be very, very broad, but to be able to kind of bring in the former athletes, celebrities, personalities, and link it with the fans is great. And to be able to do it the way you guys do it, I tip my cap. One, I really, really humbled and appreciate you guys being able to ask me to come on board, and had a great time. So, if you guys got anything in the future, I'd definitely like to jump on board. But this was fun. I had a great time.